Hi, everybody. This is Pastor. Just want to take this opportunity, first of all, to say love to the family. Man, I love you all. Miss you so much. I hope you're doing well. I'm always reminded when I see some of you on Zoom calls or get a chance to interact with you, how grateful I am to God to be pastor here at the Good Hope Missionary Baptist Church. So I was on a call today, and the topic of the call, actually, it was a webinar, was steps to take to get back into church. And I've got to tell you, I listened and I took some notes, but nothing that they said moved me to change my mind, because everything that they talked about in terms of going back into church was shallow at best, was not well thought out, and was based upon what politicians are saying, not doctors. And I told you all before, I'm waiting on the doctors. Until we get a vaccine, until we get an all clear, we're not thinking about going back into corporate worship. Now, I know some of you may be getting a little anxious, but we're trying to do various things to help you stay connected and also to help you in your worship experience so that you can continue to grow in the Lord. That being said, typically on the first Sunday, since the first Sunday in April, we have been doing drive-in church, parking lot praise. We're not going to do that this Sunday. There's a threat of thunderstorms. Percentage is not real high, but I have to be honest with you. I don't want to be standing outside underneath a metal frame tent wondering if a thunderstorm is going to come and if rain is going to come. It would just be too much for us to adjust to that if a storm came our way. And we know that there is a tropical storm / hurricane in the Gulf Coast moving in, and we don't know where that's going to go. So that being said, Sunday we will be at home. That's where I want you, worshiping at home, streaming. He's an online God. Yes, he is. So we're going to continue our streaming, and we're going to continue our walk through the Joy campaign. Hoping that you will tune in to continue to lay a good foundation of joy in your life. Now, again, on Saturday, 9 to 11 and 2 to 4, you can come to the church and pick up a pre-packaged communion set for you and your family members. Just let the deacons know how many you need. They'll take care of you. Or you can also prepare communion at home. And listen, I think that's a great thing to do, to get juice, to get crackers, to prepare it, to talk through it with your family in terms of the significance of the body and the blood. And when it's time for us to celebrate the Lord's Supper together as a family, you can do so at home. So either way works for me, and I hope it'll work for you. Either come through on Saturday or put together your own communion at home. Now, here's the other thing. You can also, those of you who have children, can come through on Saturday at the same times, 9 to 11 a.m. or 2 to 4 p.m. and pick up your children's ministry packets for the month of June. You can do that as well this Saturday, that's June the 6th, from 9 to 11 a.m. and 2 to 4 p.m. We're getting ready to do some great things. As a matter of fact, we're already doing great things, and I'm excited about our children's ministry. Want to encourage our children and parents. Listen, share the children's ministry with other friends and family members, those who are part of the church, those who are not part of the church. Man, we've gotten tremendous response. We have children who are participating in our virtual children's church, literally around the country. And that's happening because they're sharing it with family members. So I want to encourage you to share with your family members. Do the same thing if you have youth. Okay, so our youth church, hey, they are doing a great job as well. Minister Justin Pouncil has put together a program, and we would love to see you share that with your youth as well. This has been a very trying time, and I want to encourage those of you who are parents and grandparents to have talks with your children, with your youth, with your young adults. And those talks can take a variety of shapes. We are living in a very, very troubling time. And the death, the murder of George Floyd has brought to a head years, some would say 400 years of mistreatment in this country. And I agree with them. And as we have learned how to live with certain things, we have a generation now that hasn't learned how to live with these things. We have a generation who has said enough is enough. And to see young people out protesting is encouraging to me. We do not condone those who are looting. We do not condone those who are robbing. But I will say this, what I do not condone, what I don't agree with, I can understand. There's a level of frustration in this country. There's a level of need in this country that is second to no other time in our country's history short of the Great Depression. 40 million people plus having applied for unemployment. People are experiencing food insecurities. Some people are going back to work. Others are not going back to work. We see spikes now in COVID-19 testing results in terms of those who are testing positive. So there's a lot of stuff going on in our country. And I want to encourage you to sit down and talk to your children about it. Now, if you're getting a little overwhelmed, maybe a little fatigued, you know what I would suggest that you do? Stop watching the news. Yeah, because we're getting bombarded and inundated with all kinds of stuff. And as these memorial services reach their climax next week here in Houston at the final homegoing service for Brother George Floyd, the question is, what do we do next? And that's what I'm working on. What do we do next? And so we're working on some strategies, having some meetings, interviewing some people, talking to some people to talk about how do we dismantle this systemic racism that is literally keeping our community on our face, and the system of racism has its knee on our neck. Sentiment is fine. Sorrow is fine. Shock is fine. But how do we now quantify that sorrow, that sadness, and that shock into systemic change? That's what we're working on. And many of you have articulated your desire to be part of it. And I'll let you know as soon as we identify those areas and begin putting together a strategy on how we can make a difference. Don't forget, our small groups are rolling. I think we have 28 to 30 small groups now. And I want to encourage you, if you're not part of a small group, the Joy Campaign, make sure you become part of one. If you'd like to start one, get a group of your friends together and start a small group. We're doing it virtually. You can do it on Zoom. You can do it on Team, whatever social media platform you'd like to do it on, create a watch party, whatever you'd like to do. We want you to take advantage of this opportunity. And here's what I'm going to ask everyone to do. Invite one. Invite one. Just start with one person. Because here's the beautiful thing about a virtual small group. People don't have to drive. They don't have to go to your home. You don't have to clean up for them. You don't have to worry about infringing upon somebody else's hospitality. You don't have to go to somebody else's home. You can do it from your home. You don't have to worry about getting snacks together, preparing a big spread. Listen, everybody gets the food that they want to eat and they can do it at home. All right. So it's a tremendous opportunity for us to help the two kinds of people in the world. Remember, people who need Jesus, they need to know him. And people who know him, they need to grow in him. And that's the purpose of the Joy Campaign. So again, this Sunday, June the 7th, we will be at home, or you will be at home. Yeah, don't come out. We're not going to do parking lot praise or drive-in church. We're going to let this potential thunderstorm pass, because I don't want to be outside with cameras and wires and all kinds of stuff and sitting there and then a thunderstorm roll through and then we have to move inside and disrupt our worship service. So be ready to celebrate the Lord's Supper at home. And listen, we'll pull together some kind of fellowship opportunity where we'll be able to do something drive through. All right. I love you. Appreciate you, man. Have a great day in the Lord. And let's get ready for a great weekend of praise and worship as well. All right. Keep the Floyd family in your prayers. Keep the Floyd family in your prayers, and God bless you. Love to the family. Bye-bye.